We are finally getting into it. Libre versus Libre Intense by Yves Saint Laurent. The brand refers to these two perfumes as feminine fougères. So basically, a feminine take on what is usually a barbershop fragrance and typically masculine. Let's review these two perfumes and see which one makes it into my collection and how I like to wear them. Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Beve and welcome to Beve Scents. What I've got in my hand here is probably one of the most iconic bottles of 2019, 2020, and 2021. This bottle design is absolutely insane. So let us start with the 2019 release of Libre by Yves Saint Laurent. She is an amber fougère fragrance. Comes in an eau de parfum concentration, and this is the 50 ml bottle. There she is. The iconic YSL logo is bent and wrapped around the glass, topped off by twisted golden cord and a black lacquered cap. This bottle is way better looking in person. Let's see what it smells like. We're talking about a burst of fresh orange. You can smell the rind, the juice. It is slightly sweet and refreshing. This is soft, well blended, and inviting. The top notes in this fragrance are lavender, mandarin orange, black currant, and petit grain. As this fragrance progresses, it remains the same throughout. It's very linear. It is warm, inviting, and comforting. The middle notes in this fragrance are lavender, orange blossom, and jasmine. All I get is that orange blossom note and a sweet floral aspect. After about an hour, vanilla makes an appearance. Hangs around for a while and then disappears. And then later reappears. That part of the fragrance where the vanilla makes its entrance is one of my favorite parts of this fragrance. I wish it lasts longer, but it doesn't. Towards the end of this fragrance's life, the scent becomes much softer. It's a skin scent that's less about orange and more about amber and musk. The base notes for this fragrance are Madagascar vanilla, musk, cedar, and ambergris. On my skin, all I get is ambergris and musk in the final dry down. For me, this fragrance just dies abruptly and is gone. Now, having said that, while it's projecting, it is refreshing. It is elegant. My chemistry really amps that orange blossom note, and it's extremely, extremely enjoyable. Now in 2020, Yves Saint Laurent followed up with the release of Libre Intense. She too is an amber fougère fragrance, comes in an eau de parfum concentration, and is housed in this iconic bottle. This bottle deserves an award. This is definitely my best bottle design of the year. Now, there she is, showing the YSL logo at an angle and the notch cutout in the glass to highlight the Y. Amazing. Now let's see if this lives up to the award-winning Libre, the original. This is definitely got the same opening as the original, but now it's more intense. You have that beautiful orange, except now the emphasis is more amber, more musk. This has a beautiful opening. This is so good. The top notes in this are lavender, mandarin orange, and bergamot. There is a sparkling aspect to this fragrance on the top, but once it hits the mid, it just takes you on a ride. You have those floral elements that come into play with a slight sweetness. It's all tempered and well balanced. But before you can get to that part, you have to endure this moment where it gives off this retro vibe. There's this chemically component that doesn't last long, but it's gonna make you think of your aunt's perfumes, your mom's, your grandmother's perfume. But honestly, it doesn't last long and it does smooth out, but you kind of have to endure it before you can get to the part that's my favorite, where you have the sweetness of the vanilla and jasmine, and the lavender actually shows up a little bit more in this one, and the orange blossom, and they all play so beautifully together. But for me, I would like them to be even stronger and even bolder, because by the time you get to the mid in this fragrance, it softens out. It starts out so loud, and yet by the time you hit the mid in this, it's really tame. So much so that in the beginning, I'm thinking this is an evening scent. By the mid, I'm like, oh, this is something you could wear in the daytime. The mid notes in this are lavender, Tunisian orange blossom, jasmine sambac, and orchid. This fragrance is absolutely delicious during the mid. First you go through retro vibe junction, then you arrive at this beautiful floral orange blossom lavender station, and then you take off again. And intermittently, it's warm and it's ambery. On its way to the dry down, it takes another turn. I got this powdery, salt air kind of notes. I imagine that's the ambergris in there. And when that finally dies down, there's this muskiness that's left. Now, the base notes in this are Madagascar vanilla, tonka bean, ambergris, and vetiver. Now, I really wish that this fragrance ended on the note of vanilla, because that's my favorite. However, on me, I get ambergris, and it's just too unusual for me. I would have really loved this if it finished off with just vanilla. I keep hearing everyone say that it's a vanilla bomb. So who knows, maybe on you, that's what you'll get. Now here are my takeaways from these two fragrances. Libre, the original, lasted about 3 to 4 hours on my skin. I really enjoyed wearing this in the heat. This is perfectly suited for hot climates, humid climates. I wore this in a heat wave. It was the only thing I wanted, the only thing I reached for. It is a refined summer citrus, refreshing and elegant. Libre Intense, on the other hand, lasted about 8 hours on my skin, but I couldn't handle it in the heat. I really look forward to trying this in the fall, where I think it'll be better suited, and definitely in the evening. Now, an interesting story, when I was trying this out, my husband walked in the door and said, "Ooh, it smells really musty, like an old library and musty books." And I was like, "Are you telling me that my fragrance smells like a musty old library?" And he was like, No, it's just the air." I said, "Come over here and smell my wrist." And sure enough, he said, "Yeah, it's your perfume." So the same person the next day, when I'm wearing the exact same fragrance, goes, "Oh, what are you wearing? It smells really good." So my takeaway is that, yes, he likes the opening of this in the same way that I do. But for some reason, he just can't handle the muskiness, the ambergris in there. It's not for him. How do I wear these two fragrances? Well, first I put Libre, the original, on, and at the 3-hour mark, I layer Libre Intense on top. The two end up working really good together. The orange blossom note is amplified and even more intense and resembles the opening of Libre Intense that I really love. And it neutralizes all the things that I don't. So for me, I'll be keeping both of these a little bit longer, but we all know Libre, the original, is now my new summertime heat wave go-to fragrance. Comment below and let me know which one of the Libre fragrances that you have and what's the dry down like for you. Am I imagining things? And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Bye.